Hello, everyone, and great to have you here. Today, we're going to discuss the second part of what we started yesterday, which was what are some of the, I'm looking at my notes, what are some of the do's and don'ts of handling objections as business builders? Because, there are objections throughout, I guess, probably every genre or niche or of our businesses. There's always going to be something, but what we have to do, and forgive me, I got a lozenge in my mouth, but we have to be able to handle them in a way that is not going to cause the person that we're talking to, the prospect, the lead, to feel that they're not being heard or, whatever. So I really had a hard time trying to narrow this down to five, but I'm going to try to stick to that. And I've got notes down here right in front of the computer, and I've got notes on my second screen. So before I actually get into that, though, let me introduce myself to those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. Let me swallow a little water. Okay. All right. My name is Cherie Woodard. I help entrepreneurs and business builders to be able to come online, use the power of social media to get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I do that in a variety of ways. I do that with attraction marketing, lead generation, video marketing, branding, as well as giving updated strategies and tips that are modern and with the trends of the times that we're living in, because most of us now are pretty much online. And with the way things are going, we're probably going to be doing this for a while. So that is what I do. I also like to offer out a free training video series. It was the first training series that I tried before I had gotten into the company that I'm in now. And it gave me a look at and changed some things in my mind and my way of thinking about what it would be like to have people reaching out to me and how it was actually happening for others, instead of chasing family and friends, bugging family and friends, chasing strangers, mall sharking, you name it. I didn't want to deal with that anymore. Some people may really like that type of thing, and that's okay because we're all different. But I didn't really like that. So I liked when I went through this free training series, and I'm going to put information. I'm having trouble today. That's okay. I'm gonna keep it going. So I'm going to put the information on the video in the comment section when it's downloaded, and therefore you can take advantage of it. And like I said, it is free, and it just gives you a look at, if you're a person who doesn't feel comfortable the way you're doing it now, the way you're building it, maybe building your business, maybe listening to this and looking at these videos, it's a free video series, will help you in some way. So that's it for that. I'm sorry, I've just been, oh, I won't even tell you what I've been dealing with, but it's been kind of stressful, even more so. But so let's talk about the don'ts. We did the do's yesterday. Hopefully, those of you that were here remember them, and those of you that were not here, you can always catch it on the replay. And it just gives you the do's of, handling objections, as well as uh, today we're doing the don'ts. Number one, now, and these can go in any order because they're all really important, but you never want to, um, you never, well, let me just look over here. You never want to argue with a customer. You never want to argue with someone who doesn't want, who is giving you an objection, and then you, like, they say they don't have time, or they can't afford it, or they have to talk to their spouse or something like that. And then you say, well, it's right, you start to argue with them. That doesn't work. And that will turn somebody completely off, and they'll keep going, they'll keep stepping. The other thing is, you don't want to make them wrong either, because making them wrong, just kind of closes them off. If they were open, it closes them off. And that's not going to help. That's one of those don'ts that you really don't want to do. You don't want to get so frustrated with somebody because you're trying so hard to push them into what it is that you want them to do, that you get irritated and you show it. And you never want to do that, because that's just going to make it that much worse. And then that person might get irritated. And then, here we go into the argument and the disagreements and the, well, I don't think you know what you're doing anyway, and I don't believe what you have to say because of whatever, if they would say that. And I'm just kind of throwing some things out there. But, when you think about what you've gone through, who you've talked to, the objections that you faced, how did you handle them? Did you handle them in a manner where that person, you can actually, if you see them again, because you think that maybe this is really something that might help them, maybe from the conversation that you have with them, then you might want to try again. But if you've argued with them, or been negative with them, or caused them, using some of these don'ts, then they really, people can close off from you really, really fast, and that doesn't help you. So losing your cool and getting upset, and then, like I said, going into arguing with somebody, just not, that's a big don't. The other big thing is, for me, is if someone has an objection and you didn't call it first and say, I just want to let you know that when I first started this, I didn't such and such and such and such. I didn't believe this and this and that, or whatever. So you're meeting them head on before they even get to state their objection. You're already anticipating and putting it out there and saying, but then this is what I did, and this is what happened for me. And, or you can use a friend, whatever. Don't let an objection, though, if they start to say something and they say it, that objection, don't ignore it. Don't let it go without an answer. It's important to, answer their questions, make them feel comfortable. And, there are some questions, like, how much do you make? Or, that you want to, deflect them from, to something else. Deflect them to maybe another question, or tell them that you don't discuss that type of thing. But anyway, I'm going into another tangent, and let me try to stay on the tangent that I'm on, because it's just really, really important, some of these things here that I've got. There are some people that I've read in my research on this, because this is very interesting to me, because no one ever told me how to handle objections. No one ever told me there would be objections. And I was brand new. I was coming from nursing into into business building, and I had no background at all. And for me, I needed to know things, and there were a lot of things that I just wasn't told. I was just told, go get two people and then have them get two people, and everybody wants what we have. And that just was not the case. And I have to admit, I must have been pretty naive, because I really did believe that. And then when I just kept getting the negatives, the no's, if people would even speak to me, because people would run, they would see me coming and kind of think, oh, I don't want, and they would start moving the other way. So it's just important to know about objections, and I'm learning about them. I'm doing research on it, and I'm finding a lot of information that I never really knew. um, and of course, I know that you don't just argue with people. Like, if they say they don't have the money, you don't say, oh, I'm sure you do. That's just going to make somebody angry, or irritated. And how do you know what they have? That's where you might want to use some of the other methods, which we'll probably talk about tomorrow, is ways of handling these do's and don'ts, ways of being able to deflect certain things, ways to um, kind of, so to speak, win them over to your side, because it is something that they truly need. And everybody is not your customer. Everybody does not want what you have. We're all different, and we all may want different things. But or we want to have a way of having some financial freedom and time freedom, but we don't want to be, have stuff pushed on us. Most people don't. People like to buy, but they don't like to be sold to. And so, that's why I think these do's and don'ts of handling objections is so important. And I was never really taught that until I came into this company. And then I decided to do my own research and, bring it and break it down over a period of days to help those out there that were like me, that didn't even know what to say when people said certain things. It was like, you find yourself stumbling over, well, but you just start to feel like, okay, I don't know. I don't really know what to say here, but I got to keep going, got to keep talking or whatever. But let me just check my list again, because it's a lot of them on here. And the nice thing about having another screen is that you can pull up the other stuff. But when you're still having eye issues, and you're still having and you don't see numbers or whatever as clearly as you did before. So I like pull out the things that I think are important, and then I have to go and look back and make sure, so anyway. The other thing here is, let me see, this one is probably a biggie for a lot of people. Don't tell the customer you don't understand. You don't understand why they're saying what they're saying. Don't want to do that. And the other thing is, and this is going to be the last one, you don't want to make, any company negative. You don't want to knock the competition. You don't want to, talk about someone else's company in a negative manner, and because then that puts maybe more light on what it is that you're doing. what it is that your company is and that kind of thing. And so then questions may come that you really don't want to talk about. And then on top of that, don't drag your company down. Don't say, oh, well, I really don't like the way they do this and that, but they overall such and such and such. That just causes a person to go, I don't think so. So I hope that these don'ts have given you something to think about. And tomorrow we'll look at some ways of handling do's and don'ts, handling objections, because it's something that we are going to face in the niche that we're in. And it's just important to know that and to be able to understand how you can help them. And I want so badly to just say this is one of the examples, and I think I will. This one, and I might have mentioned it yesterday, and then we'll talk about some more tomorrow. But one of the things that I learned recently, I don't know when Eric Worre came out with this, but it was the feel, felt, found. And it's true, and it's honest, and it's, it's something that you can then develop some relatability with the person that you're talking to, because you can say, yeah, I know what that feels like because such and such and such. But and I did have some issues, and I felt like this was just not going to be for me. But then I found out such and such and such. So it's called the feel, felt, found method, and I believe Eric Worre is the person who actually came up with that. And it's actually very true, because you can, relate to people. If you can relate to them and they can relate to you, then you have, a way of, developing a connection, of developing a rapport, and having some conversation, and possibly even, building know, like, and trust with the person that you're trying to talk to. And even if they don't join you, it's still important to do what you did and be honest, be upfront, be you. And, and if that person doesn't want to join you, but they like you, you can stay friends. But, a lot of people are looking at people and they see dollar signs. And we need to stop doing that. We need to look at the people that we truly want to help and truly have that in mind. What can we do to help this person? What can I do to help someone today? What can I do to lift someone up? Like that. So anyway, so I'm not seeing any comments or questions right now. Remember that you can drop your comments, questions, opinions, whatever that is, whether you're here with me live or whether you're catching us on the replay. That will always be open to you. I will have, like I said earlier, the information about the free training video series, and I will put that on the video when it's downloaded in the comment section. You can check that out. And basically that is all I have for today. Tomorrow we'll go over some of the remedies to really help with some of these things, and using something like I just said, feel, felt, found method by Eric Worre. And a lot of people are using it, and it's helping people to see that you're not just out to get them. It's helping people see, yeah, I went through such and such and I felt like such and such. But, I finally felt this way. And then as I continued to think about it, I found out that this was a viable way. This was a way, and it was the way that I wanted to go. So, anyway, I'll keep going. So let me stop. So I will have that information on the video about the free training series in the comment section when this is downloaded. And let me just do some housekeeping things really quick. So remember to keep your notifications on so you know when I'm going live. Remember that we're still walking through the stuff we're walking through, and there's, you know, all types of stuff happening right now. A lot of places being shut down and what have you. So do what you can to take care and keep safe, you, your family, your friends, and others. I follow the CDC guidelines. That's just what works for me. And also remember that there are people out there that are isolated, that a phone call, text message, email, or even trying to get them on a Zoom might really brighten their day, might really lift their spirits. And for us who pray, please continue to pray for us and our world, because this is worldwide. We're in this together, and we can come through this and be the stronger for it. It's just so important that we do that. We can come through, we can make it through on the other side. Just continue to lift us and our world in prayer. And I guess that's all I have for today. So I'm going to go on and get going, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.